It's a returning champion, Elgintensity, aka Ferdinand Trapgelin, Explorer of Gains. Greg Glassman's ex and one of CrossFit's co-founders has rekindled an old flame. That's right, Glassman's wife left him for a guy named Tyrone. You might be wondering why she'd consider marrying a murder suspect, until you realize that repeatedly turning people into CrossFitters is more heinous than allegedly turning someone into a pincushion, although both are extremely effective at destroying internal organs. On that note, Dana Lynn Bailey's liver recently failed as a result of doing CrossFit and being a pincushion, making her liver a marriage of pharma and malfunction. On to the first question, which comes from Eugene Poon, who asks, "Does your hatred for bumper plates apply to us weightlifters too?" I only hate when people use bumper plates to make their lightweights look heavier and more impressive for social media. CrossFitters and some athletes use bumpers for squats and deadlifts even though their gyms most likely have metal plates. It's obviously for appearances, and it gets roasted. If your gym only has bumpers, or you have to use bumpers because you're going to drop the weight at the top, then I don't care. Alex El Sayed asks, thoughts on the new Sonic the Hedgehog trailer? The character design's awful. Sonic isn't wearing white gloves like he does in the games, and his shoes have laces. In the games, his shoes have straps. As others have said, his face and body proportions are very strange. I'll leave Nick's Strength and Power to comment on Hedgehog anatomy. The only thing stopping this from being another Super Mario Bros. At the box office is Jim Carrey as Eggman. No matter how it winds up, it's going to help me sell even more Gaines t-shirts, so at least I'll get to collect some gold rings. Killer Sloth 07 asks, in reference to fat acceptance, how much of a role do you think social media has played in this? Do you think social media is a big factor in why society now thinks being a fat fucko, to quote you, is acceptable? I like that quote. Social media allows fat acceptance activists to reach far more people than they would otherwise, and silence anybody who disagrees with them. Fortunately, social media also allows people like me, Every Damn Day Fitness, and other YouTubers to counteract their nonsense. With our reach, more fat fuckos will eventually realize that their lifestyles are unacceptable. Joseph Sarms asks whether I prefer Oxfords or derbies. I prefer Oxfords. I have low insteps, so I can't cinch down derbies enough, and they end up fitting me like pool slides. Derby boots, however, fit me fine, so I have several pairs of those. Oxfords are more formal, so if you don't wear a suit or dress slacks, then you might want to wear derbies. Luis JRZ13 asks, Hola, Dios Trapo. Do you think everyone needs to move out of their city or state to fully develop and find long-term success? It depends on whether you can receive the education or training you need to embark on your career in your city or state. A lot of people move away from home just for school and move back for work. Move anywhere you have to secure the bag. If you want to be a YouTuber, then you can live anywhere because you don't need an education or training to wake up at noon, retweet Gary Vaynerchuk quotes, and film yourself pretending to be busy. A multicellular organism asks, Greetings, Traplord. I bring to you a problem. How to get my parents to allow me to lift? They think that it will stunt my growth. Simple, you link them to every resource that says lifting weights won't stunt your growth. If your parents are short and or don't like to read, you can tell them that their genetics will stunt your growth, not lifting. As a last resort, call them body shamers for talking about your height. If you do this enough times, you'll build such a big following on Instagram as a minus-size model that they can't tell you what to do anymore. A shitload of you asked me about Game of Thrones and Avengers Endgame. Prepare for 2 spoiler-filled segments back to back. I'm going to put spoiler alerts on the screen for each review. Mute the video, but keep it running. Your boy needs the watch time. When the spoiler warning disappears, then it's safe to unmute. First, Game of Thrones. Not much happens in the first 2 episodes. Euron gets to bang Cersei after serving as an Uber to the Golden Company, and Arya gets pounded by the blacksmith. Also, a few important conversations get interrupted for some reason. What about the North? Dipshit walks in. You have a right to the throne, battle horns. Why delay these answers when you only have a 6-episode season? Episode 3, by contrast, is all action. Melisandre, aka Witch Tits, shows up, and her best contribution on the battlefield is lighting it up. Like all her magic, however, it isn't quite enough, because you still can't see what the hell's going on. The Dothraki attack a maxed out Zerg army head-on and get GG'd. That feel when a Coppertone army dies because of Bronze League tactics. The Army of the Living commits many blunders, like putting the fire trench and catapults on the wrong sides of the infantry and landing a dragon among the White Walkers. but it doesn't matter because Arya saves the day. She sneaks up on the Night King and kills him with the Valyrian steel dagger that Bran gave to her after someone tried to kill him with it years ago. Meanwhile, Jon Snow was yelling at Viserion right before it died, so that schmuck probably thought he deafened the dragon to death. I'm not quite sure how Arya got that close to the Night King in the first place. Maybe she stole a White's face during her Last of Us stealth mission in the library. It would have been more exciting to see Jon Snow fight the Night King because it's been built up for so long, but Arya's prophecy of killing a blue-eyed target goes back to Season 3. Plus, she's a trained assassin from the farm at Braavos, so I didn't get Mary Sue vibes here. Jon has the best claim to the throne, so he still has a chance to get the biggest W of them all. Spoiler segment number 2, Avengers Endgame. Endgame's final battle was well done, but the character development and plot made me want to go diving at Vormir. First, Captain Marvel, my favorite character, rescues Iron Man in space. Robert Downey Jr. looked relieved to see her, which is a testament to his acting talent considering how annoying Brie Larson is off camera. The team tries to get the Infinity Stones from Thanos, only to learn that he destroyed them to prevent anyone from undoing his work. Little did he know about the cheat code called time travel. Ant-Man says they should get the stones before Thanos does and use them to undo the snap. Since Thanos revealed what he did to the stones, Thor became a fat alcoholic shut-in who plays video games all day and gets triggered by online trolls. Marvel turned Thor into DSP. Never be like DSP. In Act 2, the Avengers go into the past to bring the Infinity Stones to the present. Only Captain America encounters any resistance, unless you count Hawkeye trying to stop Black Widow from sticking her landing. Cap gets the Mind Stone by saying Hail Hydra to the corrupt S.H.I.E.L.D. agents carrying it, and narrowly defeats his 2012 self in a fight. Marvel's writers use this opportunity to make fun of how Captain America's ass looks in his costume, like Brie Larson's tablet ass isn't rock bottom. Several characters make fun of Thor's gut too, because it's not body shaming when it's aimed at men. After War Machine and Nebula get the Power Stone, Nebula doesn't warp back to the present because her cybernetic implants malfunction. Thanos learns of the Avengers' plot to undo his snap, so he captures present-day Nebula and sends 2014 Nebula into the present. This kicks off Act 3. The Hulk uses the stones to undo Thanos' snap. Shortly thereafter, past Nebula lets Thanos through with the help of the Avengers' time machine, which she's apparently intelligent enough to operate despite struggling to understand the rules of paper football in the opening scene. Unfortunately, the Hulk doesn't get to fight Thanos again. Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man face Thanos first. Thor with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir barely did anything to Thanos without the stones, but Stormbreaker alone almost killed Thanos with all of the stones. After making Thor such a pussy in this movie, Marvel decided to give him another axe wound, as Thanos digs Stormbreaker into Thor's chest. So much for going for the head. Thor narrowly survives after Captain America attacks Thanos with Mjolnir. He barely botched the hammer in Age of Ultron, but now knows how to use it proficiently and even summon lightning with it. It was a cool moment, but the power levels were way off in this movie. Thanos bodies Captain America anyway and summons his army. Then Doctor Strange warps in with the other sorcerers, the Wakandans, the Asgardians, the Ravagers, the rest of the Avengers, Vince G, everybody was there to help. After using the gauntlet, the Avengers try to drop it off at the little time machine in the back of Ant-Man's van and return the stones to their rightful places in time. The final battle then turns into a track and field event, with various heroes taking turns running with the Infinity Baton. Captain Marvel comes out of nowhere after doing who knows what to destroy Thanos' ship and picks up the gauntlet from Spider-Man. She and the other ladies on the battlefield then leave together, like they're going to take a powder room break. Thanos gets a hold of the gauntlet from them, and various Avengers try to stop him from snapping his fingers and replacing the universe with a new one in his image. He went from an extremist with good intentions to a generic bad guy who wants to destroy everything. Finally, Stark snatches the stones from Thanos' gauntlet because he has hands like Huel from Breaking Bad, puts them in his own gauntlet, snaps, makes Thanos and his army disappear, and dies. The Avengers hold a funeral for Stark, then send Captain America back in time to return the stones. Imagine how awkward it would have been for him to return the Soul Stone to Vormir, where Red Skull stands guard. That would have been a great post-credits scene. Cap comes back from his time travel as an old man because he time jumped again to spend his life with Peggy Carter. He hands his shield to Falcon, and we see Cap finally get his dance with Peggy. Whatever problems I had with Thanos' plan to erase half of all living creatures are nothing compared to the laziness of using time travel to get back at him. It's the ultimate do-over. Also, not much happens in the first 2 acts. They get the band back together, then they stroll down memory lane while retrieving the stones. Why did so many people have to plan their bathroom breaks when the first 2 acts are weaker than their bladders? The battle at Avengers HQ was cool because so many heroes were involved, but I didn't like that Thor and the Hulk were such wusses. I know Marvel can't share the glory of killing Thanos because it has to go to Stark before they send RDJ off, but at least let Hulk face his fear of Thanos, and let Thor do some serious damage. Thor saw Thanos massacre his people, including his brother, and he has a second chance to use a weapon that's designed to kill Thanos, but he gets no redemption. Some people thought that Captain America starting a new timeline to live with Peggy was out of character, but letting Captain America get his first nut isn't as bad as making Hulk and Thor anything less than chads. Endgame is above Black Panther, which I think I gave a 7 out of 10, but it's below Infinity War. Okay, it's time for the lawyering round. Let me adjust my infinity glasses and then time travel if I mess up. Des Gaston asks, Traplord, would you rather be a set of Tess Holliday's underwear or Cali Muscle's nose plugs? I'll be a set of Tess Holliday's underwear. One of my trolls will embroider my fat jokes all over the underwear and send it to her as a gift, thus making it her underwear. Because the underwear will offend her, she'll send it back unused, thus sparing me from suffocating under her gunt. Cash Hedgehog, my motherfucker, takes us to the endgame with this question. Dear Traplord, I present to you a potential lawyering question. You have 2 options to choose from. You can 1. Switch places with Brittany Dawn, aka the Enlightened One, aka I hope there is an amnesia pandemic. You'd have to continue her denial season, comparing your struggle with the death of loved ones while still pushing your products to the audience. Or 2, become an Herbalife affiliate who's going to be stuck at the bottom of the pyramid forever. Your monthly quota is to kill 1 person with heavy metal poisoning and make 79 posts per day about the perfect breakfast. The McGriddles. I'll switch places with Brittany Dawn. At the exact moment, she's sitting on the beach during another one of her vacations, and I'm unracking 3 plates on the bench press. The weight on the bar will crush the life out of her, and leave that orange-covered stick's insides leaking like a melted creamsicle, and I'll get to take over her channel. I'll repeat her rhetoric purely for comedic effect, and push my products to her audience, namely strength programs that actually arrive and produce results. Like the video and subscribe to the channel, now.
Everybody drugs them body sometime. Everybody tries the gear somehow.